Hey guys, I'm dressed a little differently because it was like dress like you live in the 80s sort of day for me. It's a long story. But basically I'm here to talk a little bit more about Uganda. So after, the Kony 2012 stuff happened, I was doing a little more research on Uganda because I just honestly didn't know a lot about the country itself. And generally what I found, I will present in two parts. First, the good part, is that generally speaking, Uganda has made a lot of really good strides politically. Um, it they have a political system very similar to the United States. Their government has three branches: executive, legislative, and judicial. Um, and something that I found really interesting and fantastic was the strides that Uganda has taken as a country in terms of gender equality. Um, uh, the Legislative Assembly is elected like it is in the United States, but there's a portion of the seats that are reserved for uh, at least one female representative from each district in Uganda, and also for major interest groups in the country, like the army, the youth, and disabled people, for example. And Uganda has made a few other strides as well. Like I think recently, I'm not sure when, mid 2000s maybe. Uganda was the first sub-Saharan country to elect a woman as vice president. And all of this is to say that, like, Uganda's political situation is improving. It's not perfect. I mean, arguably, no political system or country's government is perfect. But the really important and cool thing is that it's improving. And it hopefully will continue to improve, and that's great. However, part number two is the bad part, which is, some of you may be familiar with the criticisms that have been raised on Uganda's treatment of gay people. And I can't say marriage equality because that doesn't exist right now in Uganda. Uganda was the second country in the world to explicitly make homosexual activity illegal. And if you are caught in a homosexual relationship or acts, you face up to, I believe, 14 years in prison in Uganda. And you also might have heard about what was being referred to as the "Kill All the Gays" bill. That was what the Western media was calling it. Its official name is the Anti-Homosexuality Bill, and essentially what it proposed to do, and it was presented in 2009 to the Legislative Assembly. It proposed to divide the definitions of homosexuality into two, and the first was less severe than the second. So the first was any homosexual act or relation or marriage of any kind, and if you were caught in any of those, under this less severe type of homosexual activity, you could face up to life in prison. The second type of homosexual activity, which was seen as more severe, was any homosexual act, I believe, that was perpetrated by someone in a position of authority, any act performed on a minor or a disabled person, as well as a few other things. If you want more information on the bill or on Uganda, I would start with Wikipedia because they have a really good selection of sources and such to start from. And the repercussions for this second type of homosexual activity, this more severe kind, you could be executed. And unfortunately, this bill just reflected, and still reflects, commonly held Ugandan public opinion on homosexuality. I believe in a 2007 study that was done, like 97% of the surveyed Ugandans said that they believe that their society should reject homosexuality. And luckily, the bill, when it was presented in 2009, did not pass because the international community was very outraged. And a lot of powerful countries, I think like the United States and such, threatened to cut all ties and financial aid to the country. And so the bill was shelved to be discussed at a later point in time. And it looks like this later point in time will be sometime in 2012, where it will come under deliberation again. However, it's predicted that if it comes down to it, the Ugandan President Museveni will veto the bill, only because, again, of the international pressure that's been put on him. And all of this is to say that while Invisible Children has come under some serious criticism lately. Like I said in my other video, we cannot become apathetic because this issue is just one example of the crap that goes on in our world. And you don't have to get involved in Uganda, you don't have to get involved through Invisible Children, but there's some really awful, really horrible things going on. And as citizens of the world who have the power of technology at our fingertips, who, with the ability to form opinions like the way we are, we can't just sit by. So, like I said before, don't become apathetic. There's some crap going on.